In this video, we're going to look at a new secret method where you can get prints just like this one done right here. And then go on to make money just like this guy right here with over 3,500 sales at $20 each, where you will not have to be doing the printing or packaging yourself. You won't need an audience to sell to, and you won't even have to make the photos yourself either. So this method is going to be fairly straightforward, but we do the research first to find out what products, what types of photos, what prints are selling, and then we're going to actually get the photos for free, make them look real good, and then get them printed on another website. Then when we have the prints, we're going to sell them on another site. And if you stick around long enough, I'll tell you about a bonus, an additional means of getting traffic to your store, as well as another way that you can make money with selling photos. The site you're going to head over to is Etsy.com. And to start the process of figuring out what photos are selling, now not only this can be done with photos, but it can also be done with paintings as well. Now we're going to look for something like sunsets, sunset framed prints. So these are selling. As you can see, this guy has over 448 reviews at $20 each. And the majority of times, not everybody who purchases something would leave a review. So it's probably double this amount, probably almost 1,000 sales, 1,000 times $19. That's roughly $19,000. So for the sake of this experiment, we're just going to use sunset frame prints. Now that we know we're going to be using sunset frame prints, now we have to find pictures of sunsets. Now I know you're probably wondering that how are you going to use photos for free and sell them? There are usually a lot of issues with commercial licensing and getting sued for using people's photos, and this is not going to be using stock photography either. What we're going to be using are photos that are in the public domain, which means that you can use these photos, you can modify them, and you can also sell them legally. And we're going to use one website here to get those photos. We're going to head over to a site called rawpixel.com. where there's a lot of free photos. But what you're going to do is hit the public domain, because that is the type of photos that we would like to sell. So we want to make sure that it is in the public domain. And as you can see right here, there's a little explanation on exactly what that means. It clearly states here that they're making these pictures available to you to use as you like with a Creative Commons license. And when you click the Creative Commons license, you can see that there's no copyright here. You can modify, distribute, and perform the work even for commercial purposes, all without even asking permission. So that is the type of photos that we want to get. So we want to make sure we're finding a sunset in the public domain. So you just search for sunset. Oh, this is cool. And this one looks nice, so we're just going to click that, and you can see right up here that this one is in the public domain. So you're going to want to just hit the free download button, quickly register for free, and get this image on your computer. You may be prompted to register for one of their premium accounts, but you don't need that to do this method. You just hit next or skip. So once you download the image just like this, you then head over to a site called Pixlr, which is step 2, pixlr.com, where you open the image that you just downloaded right here. Choose full HD, hit apply, and this site is really cool. You don't have to register, nothing like that. You just head over to pixlr.com and you can just start editing the photo. But what we're going to do is make it look better. But don't worry, you're not going to be doing any editing. You're just going to hit one button here. Two buttons. After you choose adjustment, you just choose to auto pop. And the next thing you'll want to do is head over to filter, by then detail, and just hit sharpen. There's a little preview in the back here. You could simply just raise it a little bit. You don't want to go all the way there because that would ruin the photo. So you're just going to carry it up a little bit and then hit apply. There's not much to do here. This is an important step because we're going to be using this image as well to showcase the photo print that we have for sale over on Etsy. So once we're done, you just hit file and export image as PNG. Save it. And now for step 3, you're going to head over to a site called Printful. On Printful is where you can create and sell custom products online. So how Printful works is you have your online store. In our case, it would be Etsy, where we would have the photos for sale. When somebody places an order, Printful would then fulfill that order by printing it and shipping it to the customer. In this case, they would be shipping it to Etsy, and then Etsy would be shipping it to the customer. On the home page, just hit products, head down to home and living. And you can see here there's wall arts, posters, frame posters, canvas prints. So you can choose any one of those options. And just to be clear, when you hit integrations under online marketplaces, you'll see Etsy, where there'll be all of the instructions as to what you need to do to connect this to your Etsy store. by simply hitting Connect Etsy Store. So of course, sign up for a free account to get started. And for the next step now is where you head over to your Etsy store. You register and create an account for free. I'll just log into mine here. You choose to create a shop, and when you go into your shop manager, you want to add a listing. The photo is the first thing that somebody would see when they're browsing, and that's why we wanted to make sure that that looked really nice. So here's the photo that we retouched to make it look really good, because of course this is the first thing that somebody would see when they're browsing to buy something. You may run into some challenges here as it relates to dimensions on the photos, but you don't need to worry about that. You can just come here and just click crop photo to exactly what they would like it to be. And once you're done with that, you just hit save and move on. If you can get a slideshow done easily for free on a site like Canva, that would be really cool to upload here, because videos usually push a product a lot, just as much or maybe more than a photo does. So once you make sure that Printful is integrated with Etsy, you have to have a new listing, which would be that photo that we just refined and made it look really good for print. This brings us to the next step, which is getting traffic to the store, because that is how you're going to make sales. And there's several ways that we could look at this. We could look at paid advertising, or we could look at organic means through social media accounts, whether it's TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. But we're going to keep things simple by just using Etsy.com. So you have to keep in mind that the more money you make is the more money that Etsy makes. So these profiles here are promoted by Etsy because they're making sales. And when they make sales, Etsy makes sales as well. And even as a new seller on Etsy, you could make sales. However, you have to put some things in place to build that trust for Etsy to actually promote your product. And in order to do that, customers need to buy and leave reviews. But before they actually take a purchase on a new seller, you need to get their attention, and you're going to get their attention by having a captivating thumbnail, something to click. The title has to be something that they're searching for, and you can't compete with broad terms like just sunset, because they may have a lot of people already having sunset photos. So you want to be a little bit more specific, and you want to have your product being in a little bit lower competition. So for example, you want to type sunset, not just sunset, but sunset over something, a lake, a river, a mountain. Let's see what shows up, because this will show up what people is searching for, sunset over mountains. So you can see sunset over mountains shows up here, and there's less competition, but there's still a lot of sales. So this way you're in a smaller pool of competition where you can rank higher. And as you build the trust with customers on Etsy, Etsy will rank your products higher in the search engine, and then you may be able to eventually rank for higher, more broad things like just sunsets. So we're going to leverage on the Etsy algorithm to get those first initial sales by making sure that we have a captivating thumbnail title. You can even add a video in your listing here to make sure that you're a step above the rest. And that can easily be done in an app like Canva, where you can just drop in a few images and create a slideshow. You don't have to worry about how you're going to come up with the information as it relates to your listings, because in the listing details, Etsy pretty much guides you here. So right before I head into the bonus, let's just do a quick recap of the steps so far. So step 1 is where you search on Etsy for a print that is selling. Once you find something that you want to proceed with, you then head over to rawpixel.com in step 2, where you hit public domain and search for the type of image that you want to download. And then in step 3, you head over to pixlr.com, pixlr.com. You hit file, open image, and you simply just hit adjustment auto pop, auto adjust, head over to filter, hit details, and then you can click sharpen. And then in step 4, you head over to printful.com, where you get the products printed for you and shipped to Etsy. In step 5, you head over to etsy.com and optimize your new listing, your new photo print that you're going to be selling on the site. And you're using Etsy traffic to get to that new product. You're not going to use any other traffic source. And then we optimize that listing by putting in the right photos or maybe a video and all of the information here that you need in order to rank even as a brand new seller. Okay, so you've waited long enough for this bonus. So once you set up this system and you start making sales, you may want to eventually start scaling that. And you can do that by a form of paid advertising right here on Etsy. Or you can try a different type of product like 3D designs, which people are making a lot of money from. where I made a video about it right here, where you can take everything that you learned in this video and take those tips in that other video and merge the two ideas together for the best success. So I'll see you over there.